right? So in the early game, Rumble, a champion that even after the repeated nerfs we've seen can still easily get priority in this matchup. Victor into Aurora. Aurora may very well be able to get pushed early, but the moment Victor gets his upgrade, he's immediately going to start getting priority in that lane as well.
Sorry, yes.
But
I'll get something right.
But it's very addictive. I have to be very cautious.
Are you a mono red player?
No.
I only know that because LS used to talk about it. I know that's an aggressive...
I just like to annoy people, so every move that I make is basically determined to wind people up. Now, Grubs have spawned, and it looks like both teams are set on contesting this.
Yeah. You're already dealing with one of them. As we can see, Kaiwing looking for an opportunity. He is itching to press that Zenith Blade button. A couple of those Grubs go over, though, and it looks like CFO going to be able to get all of them.
One smite did come through from Yike, so he ended up stealing one away. So it's a 1-for-1, and it will be an advantage gained overall for CFO. But Vladdy just losing out on these trades. And we talked about this Victor and the range advantage you have, especially once you get that upgraded E. It's just so easy for you to push and poke, and the champion can be extremely oppressive against, especially against a champion like Aurora. So nice control in the early game around these objectives from CFO.
Well, Jinja is still going to be able to get the stun. There's the Impale as well as it's pulled out from underneath the turret. Targamas going down to 200 health as the teleports roll in. CFO with, yeah, I don't know about this one, Bloody. He's going to be able to get himself out of there, but slammed into the wall, and first blood going to Doggo. Composition's less. In this one, it feels like it's massive for this early game that is buying CFO so much time, right? The fact that Victor can get so much of his damage down without having to worry about an Aurora, who does benefit so much from being able to layer all of these combos over and over again.
With the Eclipse ready, he's going to have a lot of damage at his disposal. Here comes the flank.
Yeah, he's going to get the flash out as Honkyu just held in position. There is the public execution as Junjia gets 3 in the Impale. Targamas over the wall, but they are outmanned. There's a true shot barrage onto 3 though, and KC are on the wrong side of the map with not a whole lot of health bar to speak of. Yike able to get himself out of there, but Junji is over that wall immediately. Not a lot of damage following after this fight, but he'll still get slammed into the wall, given that sunlight and taken down. And KC just getting tidied up around this map. It was a decent pick to start things off, but I don't think they had much of a plan after that.
I mean, the combo from Junja and Rest was just devastating. Getting a 3-man Impale, keeping them on the red carpet to just chip away at their HP, completely turn the tides in CFO's favor.
Kaiwing looking for even more here as Doggo raining the damage down. There's another kill for this Ezreal. Kaiwing looking to make his way out as now it's Canna's turn to teleport in. Kaiwing should be a sitting duck, but does manage to get the CC. He'll take out the Leona, but now Doggo wanting to chase after the Ambessa here. A lot of damage raining through these Mystic shots. All of them hitting. He's under the turret. He has the barrier, though.
The game is only going to get harder and harder to play as it continues, as the Herald started off by Junja.
Yeah, Junja is becoming a problem as well. You can see that health bar is starting to look very difficult to get through.
Ooh.
As Doggo, taking a big chunk. Canna now looking for his angle off to the side, smacked into the wall. There's the Impale onto 1. As also Vladdy getting that ultimate in there. A lot of damage is Gallist. Killer Instinct into the backline. Junjia takes down Yike though, and he's so tanky. It is absolutely absurd. True shot barrage, but Doggo's so low he can't actually get into the fight once again. This Flame Spitter just not quite enough.
The remaining members away, but the Herald will still go down in favor of CFO. In terms of the objectives, they have just been dominating throughout this game.
Yeah, and I was looking for the eye. I was going down, checking out the summoner spells and stuff like that. Objectives all over the map. 5 Grubs going over to CFO. And this is the team that's very happy to go late. Press that button.
Certainly will. I mean, I love the confidence that we're seeing from both Kaiwing and Junjia. Like, they're engaged consistently, finding onto the right targets. As you rightly said, in the previous fight, locking down Yike, probably not as optimal at Soul Point.
Yeah, they do have the Shoes of Strength, very strong shoes.
Oh, that they do.
As Junjia looking for that opportunity. On a ward right now is Kaiwing. Gonna get publicly executed. Okay, they dive in, they take her down immediately. Junjia crashing them against the wall. Kana going to be getting himself out of there as now Rest deciding that perhaps that wasn't the teleport angle he was looking for. A cease and desist on top of the Rumble. He flashes out of there, but the double knockup from Targamas is massive. Equalizer just trying to buy them some space, and it's Yike that goes down. CFO, why did that work?
The target focus from KC was off, and Honkyu, and the idea is good, but that Rumble to immediately dissuade them means that Yike is now way too deep, because the rest of his team have kind of fixated on a different target. And as a reminder, this is a really important game for KC, especially given that their games do not get any easier.
Yeah, Kalista, he had full health a little while ago, and Doggo saw to that. Great arcane shift, but he still gets knocked up. Kalista gets into that back line, but the equalizer still just being annoying in this fight. Targamas going to be the first to go down, and Kana, he's going to try and dash his way out, but of course, he's smacked into the wall and taken down. Shut down here for Honkyu as well, whose Victor has just been quietly doing a bajillion damage in so many of these fights. Going to get the GAs. The way I like to break them up, if you've got Rod of Ages, Arakan, and you've got GA Arakan.
I see.
And this is the GA that we've got. I really want Rod of Ages, man.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully. I mean, it's a long day still.
That is true. That is true. Happen. And otherwise, you just try and play for neutral. Just try and keep things as even as possible. As we found a pick towards his top side. Rest getting taken down low, but he does, of course, have the Arakan buff. That is going to take one of those recoveries away and does give some money over. But Vladdy, he's real dead. That's actual dead. And so that 1-for-1 is not going to be a 1-for-1 at all.
I'm impressed that every single pick that KC finds, CFO find a way to trade it back.
Yeah.
That consistently throughout this game, it's
rotation
always
was
1-to-1. Yeah, it's just so quick. They're able to avenge their top laner. And while KC
can they do it again? And do they even have to? Because now it could be Kalista that's in trouble. Public execution just to get Kana out of there. Kalista gonna have to use that cleanse and the flash in order to escape, and I don't think it's gonna be enough. Doggo, arcane shift forward, cheeky auto attack, and that is a dead Kai'Sa. Maybe not necessarily the Rumble as much, but Rest has been playing it exceptionally as, okay, they don't land the solar flare, but there's another two-man impale from Junjia, and look at it, he hasn't even lost health. It is absurd, kind of trying to dash around the fight, but he dashes to the death chamber instead, and yike. He's running the wrong direction, and he's not going to be getting out of this one. Once again, Doggo just hops over, Mystic Shot for the kill, and he's now 5-0-4. He'll have an Infernal Soul in hand. They can take a Baron if they like, but they could also just take 50 gold from a Nexus, I think.
Offer a lot of value.
Yeah. No, I actually think that it's going to get more and more valuable. I also think that coaches, Doggo, free reign here on this bottom side. He'll be able to take an inner turret. That is going to be the last one of them available on the map. Only inhibitors to go down next as Yike.
His front line. He's even saying, go after Honkyu. It's fine. Target him instead of me. He's got the Zhonya's available, level 16. And
my God.
Look at the poke.
Death Ray has never been named more accurately. As, yeah, Kalista's going to be going back to the fountain to mend his wounds. First inhibitor to go down. As Rest chasing after Kana. He was the one that was going for the flank angle this time around as Yike makes his way back to his team. But look at this poke. KC just have nothing to offer back. We mentioned that range before, but when you have this kind of range advantage and then just a massive lead, it's just slow, steady destruction of KC's base.
They're just letting the cannon minions do the work for them, and why not now? Rest brings the minion wave into mid. Another tower is going to fall, and KC, I mean, it feels impossible to win a fight at this point anyway, but they're going to have to try and pull the trigger soon.
Yeah, or it's decide on what to do in game 2. Because one more Nexus turret is left up and available. CFO, what an incredible debut here at First Stand. As Junjia underneath this turret, just going to pull Yike away. Cease and desist comes through. They do manage to take down the Skarner for the first time. That's looking good. But now Doggo is unleashed. The rest of KC, their Nexus is exposed. Kalista needs to go back to the fountain once again as Targamas looking for that engage into that backline. Rest, though, just melts them. He's a walking barbecue, and yeah, he goes down, but so does KC's Nexus.
So again, CFO, their approach is front-to-back team fight. They've got a lot of AoE, a lot of zone control. The great thing about this composition as well is that even if KC is on the objective first, you have a lot of tools to contest that objective again. The ability to create space.
Composition that can sort of
ooh, look at this.
Pass the test of time as Junjia coming actually over the wall from the Dragon. That's a great engage from Kaiwing as Targamas completely off to the side. And now, Kalista trying to play some alcove gaming, and unfortunately it is not where he wants to be. Doggo with first blood for the second game in a row. And on release, it did about a bajillion damage. And so if you were the kind of player that would want to go into the middle of a team fight, press all of your buttons and die, she was the best champion ever, which is why I loved her. She was brilliant. We're talking about a champion that's not in the game, though. She was at least banned throughout both of these. We might get her in a game 3 if we make it there. KC looking to try and deliver us towards it.
Already a positive in comparison to game 1.
Precisely. And 3 Void Grubs is absolutely fantastic as well, meaning that you don't even necessarily need to fight for the next round if you don't feel like it. and they can put their focus towards the dragon that hasn't been taken just yet. As Kaiwing gonna go for another engage. There's the Glacial Prison. Targamas gonna have to flash. Does get the anchor out as Doggo picks it up with a double up. That is gorgeous. Kliss gonna be able to walk out of the way of the bullet time.
Behind. He is close to level 9 though. Here we go.
Yeah, Winter's Wrath.
You can't contest this, Ginger. I don't think you can contest this.
Well, he is walking around. Somewhat in range, actually, but it's going to be Yike that wins the Smite War. Hook going to connect, but Targamas is sort of just 1v1ing against Doggo. Junja right in amongst it now. Is Vladdy trying to get out of there? The flash forward from Junja is crazy, and Targamas finds himself caught out. That's a killing spree for Doggo, as Kana is towards this top side, getting something back for KC. As the flash forward from Honkyu, this young man going nuts against Yike, who's taken so much damage. The threaded volley will finish him off, and Honkyu says, yeah, we have a monopoly on kills this game.
He has the support from Driver, and we're back into the action.
We are right back into it as the Grubs now going to be the focus here. KC already with 3 under their belt, as Driver going to get booped back here by Kana. Should be 4 of them locked down here, as Yike should be able to collect them. There we go. That is Grub number 1. CFO still haven't pulled the trigger just yet, though. Doggo securing 1 of them, so it's maximum 5. And that is going to be what happens. Chains of Corruption come through, but Kaiwing turns it into engage as Driver gets a phenomenal crash, does immediately go down, and it's a double here for Yike. Junja says, no, remember, we're the team that gets all of the kills, as Targamas going to be the first one to be taken down. He also looks for the next, as Kana's put in prison, but not going to quite be enough. The Winter's Wrath unable to catch him in Doggo. I don't know whether you want to tank 3 turret shots.
In the front to back, sure. There is a scary front line that they have to deal with, but they have the damage in theory to deal with it.
Well, Weaver's Wall coming on through here is now Yike. He is cornered, and everything is about zoning. They knew that he was just dead to rights. 50% dueling this Chemtech Drake. Driver going to move on over is now Kliss. You're not going to be able to interrupt that ulti there as Junja gets over the wall, flashes back immediately as he realizes his mistake, and he will be ripped to shreds by that piercing arrow. CFO maybe bit off a little more they could chew that time around.
The Dragon getting very low. Yike on his way back, but there's no smite here.
Yeah, they do just interrupt the queue as Driver was pretty optimistic, thinking that his Scion was going to be the deciding factor there. Honkyu going to be getting to work here on the top side of the map, though, as second Dragon in a row here for KC is a big deal. And you can see the fans here at LoL Park agree. This is what we're expecting. It was a bit quiet during game 1.
Favor. Ambitiously drive. Oh, back in the action.
Yeah, crash down there from Kaiwing. Going the wrong direction, though, as Kana might be the one that they're looking for. His health bar is relatively high, but unfortunately he can't move and he has no friends. That's Honkyu taking another kill for himself. 2-0-2 now for the Talia.
It's been happening throughout this series. You can't afford to rest on your laurels. The moment that you're out of position, this team will punish you for it.
Well, Driver going to come on over and get rid of all of these minions. I don't know about that one. Trains off the tracks a little bit here as Vladdy going to get rid of this turret and now go for the 1v1 that may take 7 years, but I think he might have the damage eventually unless Driver just gets towards the turret. Doesn't have the unstoppable onslaught, though, as he does get that knock-up. And Honkyu, he gets in there, looking for that threaded volley as Junja just sets it up for him. Man, what an alley-oop from the jungler. And this is exactly what you said. Kliss giving a bit of a thumbs up here as Doggo wanting to crash this way forward once again. We're getting that zoom in. Here comes the train. Chains of Corruption are going to go wide as Kliss gets that flash to get over the wall. The Glacial Prison going wide there as well as CFO. Not going to find the engage they were looking for. And you can see Yike doing a lot of damage there to Honkyu.
15 seconds, Dragon. So yes, their ultimate likely unavailable for this next objective.
Yeah, and look at all this vision that they have now. Like you were saying, like you put pressure forward so that you can leave vision there as well. And so you can see on the top side, there's a line of wards that CFO have access for. But the Dragon is going to be secured here by CFO.
Distributing the resources evenly, which means that they don't have to... I mean, they've got vision investment on the top side as well, allowing a Driver to push in that top wave.
Lead. Honkyu just put his, he just put his Leandries together, so he does a lot of damage, but they look for the Rel, who just says, I'm going to Magnet Storm you, and then even crashes down forward. It was a mistake because he dies, but it's going to be a win here for CFO. That is 3 on the bench for KC. And CFO might just move up towards this Ruinous Archon, grab themselves a bunch of extra levels and all of that fun stuff.
Like he just threw down the ultimate and tore this opposition apart. That will be our first Ruinous Archon. Of course, not the first one of the tournament, but look at that, all that XP gained as well.
That can work independently. It's not just great multitasking, it's just more of him.
Driver, as he has pretty much done throughout this game, he does not care.
Oh, nice little stun is going to come through, but another Magna Storm comes on down, and Doggo immediately flashing away from the ulti. Kalist not going to be connecting that one, and now they are moving forward. The double ups landing, and Doggo, he does so much damage. Honkyu looking for the seismic shove. Kana going to get that fat flash over the wall. That'll keep him alive. Make It Rain not doing too much there, so KC will be able to limp away, but that could just still mean Baron.
I mean, another failed attempt on the side of KC as CFO just continued to extend their lead. They were already in a commanding position, and this really well looked to put the final nail in the coffin. Yesterday, it was a 2-1 victory for TL, but CFO looking to make this a quick 2-0. Yeah, KC think they have multiple damage.
Yeah, exactly.
Well.
This is side lane Sion. And like, I know you're pretty good at understanding what Sion does in a side lane, but this is, look, he's at the inner turret, and that will go down extraordinarily quickly. I don't know, man. This is looking rough. KC, can they find the heroic engage to make something happen? Some poke damage onto Kaiwing, that's a good start, but look at this. The Weaver's Wall set players, they just push Targamas into the wall. He's forced to flash to get himself out of there. Kalist's gonna have to blow that cleanse to get out of prison. Vladdy on the top side of the map is going to make it a trade in turrets, but they dove mid lane as well, and so it's a trade up here for CFO.
Even though they don't get all the early game objectives, they keep winning out on the fights, and now they find themselves securing the first tier 3 tower of the game. They've set their sights on the inhibitor, and what options do KC really have? Because if they try to go for the 5v5, I think the CFO's front to back is just stronger once again.
Yeah, this is the problem with falling behind against a composition that has 2 tanks, right? I mentioned the fact that there might be damage issues. The damage, it's harder to execute because you still have to be very careful.
Oh, yeah.
If you throw your life away, things can really become a problem. It's not really the case here. That's, I think, why you say that this is far more of a simple composition. It's not even necessarily that it's simple, it's that it's very forgiving.
100%.
As we get deeper into First Stand, because I've heard some pretty big talk about Honkyu and what he has. Is now Kalist in trouble once again, and just picked off and destroyed. Another gorgeous shove there from Honkyu, the man we were just talking about. And I think he might have heard us. He says, oh, you mean me? Let me just grab another couple of kills. 4-0-6 now for the Taliyah. They'll take down the last remaining inner turret. They're gonna look for another inhibitor. Baron or no Baron, they are going to break another section of this base, and KC just left scratching their heads at this point in the series. It's been a whirlwind, and CFO have just left them in the dust.
CFO have made it look easy. A convincing game too, with very few windows of opportunity. 11, the scoreline for him.
And Vladdy going to be able to stop Doggo, but look at all of these engages as stopped. Vladdy does manage to get a decent ulti and gets himself out of there, but Yike could pay the price. The AoE is going to be there, but when there's no follow-up, it does not matter, and they trickle in one after the other, but CFO stay as a unit to defend their damage dealer. This might be a little bit of an overstep as Honkyu just goes golden, and Driver is going to do exactly as his name dictates. They take a blast cone. That is going to break up the fight a little bit. And a Weaver's Wall, speaking of breaking things up, actually might be able to create some space here. But CFO, I don't, like, the health bars are low, guys. I understand your confidence.
CFO was trying to go back to base. They were trying to show them a mercy. Kana, at the very least, will get a pick.
Yeah. Shock Blast is going to be able to lock down Honkyu. Going to die for the first time. Also gets rid of some pages in that book. Now, Junji, I don't know about that flash, as, yeah, the train is going to be able to tidy up some of them. Doggo with the bullet time gets flashed out of there by Targamas, as once again over the wall goes Vladdy. And CFO, just go back home. Let's spend some of that gold. Let's calm down a little. Going to be the one that goes away first, though. As you can see, not a whole lot of avenues in for this one. There's Kana, not going to be able to stop it. So the Purple Worm delivered towards CFO. And now one inhibitor lies between them and the enemy Nexus. As Targamas thinking about going for heroic engage. Junjo able to get out of the way. The Chains of Corruption. That's some buttons on cooldown now. As the Glacial Prison, it'll ring true. Doggo has to cancel his ulti early, but these autos are doing so much. And Honkyu from over the wall finds another flick. Driver, I don't know about that one, but he gets a big old shield. Let's see whether he is going to go down. Does eventually go into that passive, but honestly, it works out just the way CFO wanted. And they're looking at a 2-0 in their debut match here at First Stand. What an incredible performance from this team.
Absolutely incredible. Convincing, coordinated, and well executed from start to finish. CFO looking strong in their first best of 3.
Yep, taking down the Nexus now as Targamas just looks to try and escape. And unfortunately, that is not going to escape the end of this game. Honku does the honors. The youngest player of the tournament will be able to grab that 50 gold for taking down the Nexus.
These were some of the best highlights from today's matchup. Which moment was your favorite? Let me know in the comment section below. This is OP, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.